Welcome back to another reading video, scholars. I hope you did all your work for yesterday so you can start today's work. And I know you're probably wondering, what's this that Miss Liffler have on her hand? Because I know I've worn it in some videos before. You see, sometimes Miss Liffler has pain in her hands that I have to wear a brace sometimes to help out with the pain, okay? So that's why I'm worried. But don't worry, everything's good. I can still use my hands. And if I was wearing this in the classroom, I'd still be able to tickle you. So let's get started. Readers act out scenes from their stories. Usually, if we were in the classroom, we'd all be acting out scenes from Wangari's Tree of Peace together so we can remember what happened at the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the end of the story. But since we can't act it out together, I'm just going to try to help us remember what happened in the story. So, in the beginning, do you remember where Wangari lived? Yes, she lived under an umbrella of green trees under Mount Kenya, right? And where is Mount Kenya? In Africa. And she would usually help her mom carry firewood while she watches the birds in the forest, right? And then where did she go? Yeah, so she went to school in the United States. She went to school in America, right? So, and because she won a scholarship. But then when she came back, all the trees were gone. Oh no! What happened? Where are the trees? Oh my goodness! And she was seeing the women walking around like hauling really heavy firewoods and their backs hurt, right? And she was wondering, where are the birds? I don't see any birds. And what happened next? Remember what happened next? She thought that, I don't want Kenya to become a desert. And she was crying because she was sad. So she decided she would replant the forest, right? So she started planting, how many seedlings, do you remember? 9 seedlings. So she started planting 9 seedlings. And as she planted more and more, the other village women started to help her out, right? And she paid them if the seedlings survived for how long? Do you remember how long? Let me see, you have to tell me. 3 months, right? So she told them, so after, if the seedlings survived for 3 months, she paid them. And remember, for those women, that was the first time they got paid to do anything ever, right? And what were the men doing while the women were planting the seedlings? They were laughing. Yes, so after she paid them, so word started traveling, remember, really quickly throughout the village, and more women from other villages and towns and cities started planting seedlings, right? So after that, what happened next? The cutting kept going. So the cutting, they didn't stop cutting the trees. It kept going and it kept going and going. So what did Wangari do? She stood tall like an oak tree. So she stood tall and she was protecting the old trees that still remained. And then what happened? Yes, the government men disagreed. So they hit her with clubs. They called her a troublemaker and then they put her in. Yes, in jail. They put her in jail. But did she give up then? Nope, she still stood tall and she said, right is right even if you're alone, right? And after that, what happened? Yes, the talk about her actions and the tree spread all over Africa like ripples, right? And more women started planting longer and longer rows of seedlings. And then there were how many trees after they were done? 30 million. There were 30 million trees. That's a really big number. I don't think I could even count to a million but there were 30 million trees. And the umbrella of green returned, right? And then the women, when they were carrying firewood, they were walking with their backs tall, and their backs were straight, and they were standing tall because the firewood was right outside their door. Basically, it was nearby, it was closer. And the land, was the land still barren? No, the land was no longer barren. And then at the end of the story, the whole world, right, heard about Wangari's trees and the army of women who planted them. And that today, if you were to climb to the very top of Mount Kenya, you would see the millions of trees growing below, right? Because that's what she did, and it's a true story. So now that we've reviewed our story, I'm going to tell you what your mission for today is. So, are you ready for your mission for today? So, your mission for today, you have to use pictures and words to create a timeline of the plot of the story, you know? So, you have to have at least 5 plot events in your timeline. So, a timeline, you can make it using lines, you can make bubbles and draw what happens. But what I need though, I need at least 5 things that happen in the timeline of the book. All right. So one could be when she was living under the trees, right? And another could be her collecting firewood with her mom. And another could be her leaving to go study in America. And then another could be her coming back. And then another one could be her planting the first 9 seedlings, right? So all these are different events that happen in the story. So when you're creating a timeline, it has to be in order. We can start the timeline with she went to America, then she helped her mom pick up firewood, right? That's not in order. Because remember, that didn't happen before. So we have to make sure it stays in order, okay? So for you to succeed with this one, with this mission, how many plots do I need? How many timeline events do I need? 5. I need 5. So for me, let's say for my timeline, I would write about, first, she lived under the trees, right? She helped her mom pick up firewoods. She helped harvest the food. She went to America to study. She came back and the trees were gone. Oh no, that's 5 right there. Or if you don't want to talk about the beginning, you can go halfway through the book and you can be like, you see, more women helped her plant trees. She paid them. She defended the old trees. Wangari got put in jail. More women planted longer and longer rows of trees. Or you can even skip some of these and go straight for the ending, as long as your timeline has 5 events that took place in the story. All right? So I'm gonna repeat your mission one more time. Use pictures and words to complete a timeline of the plot of Wangari's Tree of Peace. And you will succeed if you have at least 5 events. If you want to have more, that's okay. But I need at least 5. 1 is not good, 2 is not good, 3 is not good, 4 is, you're kind of close, but not good. 5, you're great. All right, that's your mission for today. So, are you ready? Yeah? All right, get ready, get set. Oh, wait a minute. And don't forget to read on RazKids for 20 minutes. All right, those are your missions for today. Get ready, get set, go.